everybody, welcome to Smashing Game Time. We are two brothers that go through gaming's back catalog of yesteryear. I am your host, Nick, and as always, I am joined by my brother, Josh.
Yellow, everybody. He can't figure out what direction I am.
You would think after doing this for, has it been 3 years? It's almost been 3 years, right?
I think it's been 3 years.
You would think doing this for 3 years, I would remember that it's reverse on the camera, but whatever. Hey, everybody, this is Smashing Game Time, like I said before. We got a fun episode for you today. We are going to, talk what we've been playing, what we've been watching or reading or whatever. We're going to do some news. And then at the end of the episode, we are going to each share 3 scary Pokemon lore bits. I've actually got some music to play behind it just to add to the spookiness because it's Halloween season, It's a very scary time of the year. That's right. Candy and scares. Oh, I thought you were going to pull something out. I saw you reaching for something, Josh.
Nope, I forgot to type it in, and I see you forgot the letter, so we're good.
Oh, did I forget a letter?
Yeah.
You know what? It's been a long, long week. Before we get into things, as always, we are anywhere that you get your podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube Podcast and YouTube Proper, where you can see these big-ass melon heads. Also, fuck the algorithm, tell a friend. That's right, we don't fuck with the algorithms. We don't fuck with any of it. Word of mouth is king here.
Fuck the robots. Revolution.
Revolution indeed. Revolution will not be televised because the algorithm will not pick it up. No,
Damn robots.
What else? I think that's it. It's been a busy week over here, Josh. I have been working on my GameCube piece. I've actually got about 600 words written on it. I was pleasantly surprised by that. I was going to try and get it done last night, but then the clock struck midnight and my slippers turned into mice, and I was like, oh shit, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've been running around like crazy, and I finally got to play some games and kind of lost track of time, so I'm a little behind myself. I get it.
No, it's all good. Hey, there's no pressure. It is a website that it's there. It's something for fun that we all get to do. I was gonna do a piece on the happening demos from the Steam Next Fest, but there's a million people doing that. I don't give a shit enough to do that. So my thought is I'm just gonna do one for Keep Driving, because that was the one that stood out the most. It was between that and Midnight Murder Club that we all played.
Oh, which is, I was very, very, very fun, but very frustrating too.
I was reminded, playing with you and Matt and Jake, I was reminded just how bad I am at games. Like, I knew I was bad at games anytime I played with you guys in the last 15 years, but I was reminded in that little 2-hour increment of time, like, oh yeah, I'm really bad at this. And really what it is that whoever was doing the best was just camping. Matt. And
that was camp. And he could sit there and say he wasn't camping, but he fucking was.
Well, and I'm the kind of person who's like, I want to run around. I want to I want to get my feet on the ground. I want to go explore. And he'll camp. But if it's the other way around and you're camping,
he gets so pissed.
He gets pissed. And you know what? You could tell him I said that. Hey, Matt, if you're listening, stop camping.
See, no, I got so bad. That's why I started camping. And he's like, oh, I see you guys are going to start camping now. Like, get what you're fucking doing and pissing me off. Damn straight I'm going to do it.
Yeah, dude.
I got so heated.
We'll get into the games right now since we're already talking about this. Midnight Murder Club, for those who are wondering, that was the game I mentioned last week. It had a demo for Steam Next Fest. This is from the team that did Knockout City, that came and went, as live service games tend to do these days. This is basically hide and seek in a house, in a big mansion. Super dark. You have a flashlight and a revolver, and you can pick up other weapons from a slot machine type thing. And there's multiple game modes. The demo only had free for all, and then another objective-based one where you were collecting money or skulls and putting them in a safe in teams of 3 or 2. And so we spent most of the night playing free for all, and the mansion is huge. We were only playing with 4 players, so I think that we were a little small. We were waiting on another. Small. We were waiting on another brother who'd never showed up, never answered the call. He left us on red, but. Yeah, there was a room, and I forget exactly what it was, but it had a single staircase going up into it. And if you go up, the door's in the middle of the wall that you're looking at, and there's a a cabinet in that corner. He would stand on that corner and
Yep.
shoot at you. And he got mad at me when I tried to do it to him. I would also try to hide out in the kitchen just because it felt like a nice little spot in between like the dining room. I think there's also like the servants' quarters right there. I would try to like lay a bear trap in the middle and no one ever fucking stepped on it. So I eventually just had to step on it myself because I wanted to see how it worked.
Did it kill
And
you instantly?
Hmm?
Does it kill you instantly?
No, so it locks you in the spot and it sends like electrical bolts out to like light the area. So like if it were me and I were standing in the corner I was in and you stepped on it, you'd be stuck right there and I could just gun you down.
Okay.
The sound design's really good. This is one that you should play with the headphones plugged in. It's also got proxy chat, so get out of like mute the Discord chat and be in the game with everyone else because you can hear the amount of times I would be like on the first floor and I could hear Josh screaming on the second floor somewhere. God damn it! Killed me every time.
And it echoes throughout the house.
It echoes throughout the house. You can have fun fucking with people. Matt would be like, "I'm gonna find you," and it'd be like very muffled if he was like a few rooms away, and then you would hear the like you would hear the footsteps, and then you hear him getting louder. It's
Oh,
just
let's not forget he started putting on the gorilla noises.
he put on gorilla noises. Yeah, he he was just having a good time. It's fun. If you're bad at shooters like myself, you might not have a good time. But it's a very give and take. Like you, of course, you want to use the flashlight to see. There are other ways you can see. There's a temporary night vision thing that I thought was pretty cool the few times I got it. You can also did you get to use the flash grenades? Mm-hmm. So they're flash grenades, but they've got this magical sense to them where I threw one just to see how it looked. I threw it, the screen flashes green and it stays like a bright green for a few minutes, kind of like you're looking at the Brad album.
Yeah.
And so that was neat. And you toss it at people and try to blind them so then you can shoot them. The other power I really like, well, they give you dynamite. They give you a lot of cocktail. And the fire burned for a long time. I was super surprised by how long that fire burnt. There was also, you get a machine gun, but the machine gun is weird because you would think, oh, I've got another gun. I can just cycle through it. No, the machine gun is used like a power-up. So you use these power-ups by pressing Q. And when you press Q, it just pulls out the machine gun. It just starts rattling off. And this is a little Chicago typewriter type machine gun. So it and then it goes back away. And then there's a cooldown. There's body armor. There's some other power-ups. Were there any power-ups that stood out to you, Josh?
Well, the body armor sucked in my opinion because I put it on and I got still killed in one shot in the chest. But I did hit Matt when he had his with 2 shots and he lived. So very not consistent.
I was wondering about that because I would have body armor, and then by the time I had body armor, I would either not die because the game was close to over, or I would get shot in the head and be like, okay, I have no idea how efficient that was for me, but cool.
Not really. I mean, I would say, honestly, the Molotov cocktail and the bear trap were the 2 most useful. Mm. I mean, just from you telling me about the bear trap, I didn't see any of the rest. I didn't get to see the flash grenade. It never got used on me, so I can't really speak with it. But I tried the night vision. It was okay. It just doesn't last as long. And I tried the speed up potion, and I wasn't impressed by that either.
Yeah, that one wasn't good. I did like there was another one where you kind of put like something in your ear, and it gave you everyone's location. It gave you like their outline.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
That one was really useful. I think it also it gives everyone else the outline as well, though, if I remember correctly.
It gives everybody the outline.
So it's it's also one of those give and takes because if you have it, you know where everyone is, but whoever you're going after, they know you're coming if they're looking. Yeah. I don't think it tells. It doesn't tell you who has it though, if I remember correctly.
No, it doesn't.
So you're kind of having to just watch all the outlines and be like, I think it's the red guy coming at me. I do like, and I mentioned this last time, I do like that the bullets are highlighted in the color. So like the red player shoots red bullets, blue player shoots blue bullets. I like the layout of the mansion. It feels like a huge mansion. There's outside areas. There are weird inside areas that feel very like, oh, of course, a fucking rich asshole lives here. There's a mask room. There's a mask room in here. Of course there is. They have, you know what? I make I make 5 figures, guys. I can't afford a mask room, not yet. The other thing I didn't like was the one thing I didn't like was when you're in the dark, you don't get any kind of HUD situation. Nope. Which I get aesthetically, you just want to be pitch black alone. But when you turn on the light, like you get the HUD, you get like the little display that tells you what room you're in, so you know. And I think if you like you have the light on in the room and you stay in that room, that little HUD that tells you where you're at should stay. But like then if you go and leave the room, then you don't know where you're at because you're wandering in the dark. I just thought that would be something that would be useful because the amount of times I would turn off the light and wait and then kind of forget where I was at. Be like, oh shit, what room am I in again? And then have to turn on the light, and then I turn on the light and I get shot.
And I wish the crouching was a little more quieter. It seemed like even when you're crouch walking, it was still pretty loud.
Yeah. And there's some cool environmental sounds like the little machines to get the power ups when they recharge, they make like a cuckoo clock sound. I think there's also actual cuckoo clocks in the house if I remember correctly.
There is, and there's also the boiler.
And the steam will shoot you in the face. I want a little more of that, and I was also hoping for a few more ways to affect the environment yourself. So like if let's say I not like a kill streak or anything, but like give me something where I could light up part of the house and like then everyone in that. So like when Matt's camping in that corner, like give me the ability, either a power up or something where I can select a part of the house, light that motherfucker up, and then anyone camping in there is going to scatter like a fucking cockroach.
I would even say like let there be environmental damage to what you use for your power. So if you use the Molotov, if it catches, if it sets fire and there's something that's easily flammable, it spreads throughout the whole entire room. Don't make it just that one spot. Make it to where it actually goes throughout the whole entire room, if not the whole entire hallway, wherever you're at.
Right. And with the with that game mode that has all the safes and the lock boxes around, it kind of gives me hope for some environmental stuff, like a light switch. Just give me a light switch, and then if like if someone's pissed off enough that I keep turning on lights in the house, like let there be like the house is big enough that you can do stuff. You can do that. I feel like you can do that kind of stuff. Like have a generator in the steam room where if somebody cuts the generator, like then you can't turn on the lights anymore. You can still turn it back, like just stuff like that. I think that'd be really interesting. I think it's in a good spot though. It's really fun to play. I want to play team deathmatch. I feel like that would be the most fun.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Especially when you start whispering, hey dude, okay, go into the kitchen and I'm gonna sit down here. The other thing I really love, so like there's like taxidermy bears and like other like there's mannequins and things, and just like I kind of like posting up by them sometimes. I liked posting up, so like I would get by the bear.
Oh, the decoy was a cool power up too.
The decoy was really cool. I feel like the decoy's overpowered though, because the amount of time they got Matt with it. The decoy literally just shoots out another version of you, and it's not a working
flashlight.
Yeah, it's not a dummy or anything. It's a real thing, and people will come in and shoot it, and then you're around a different corner, you see them, and you shoot them instead.
Yep.
I thought that was a really cool power up. When this comes out, and I think it comes out soon, I think I'm going to buy it.
I don't blame you. I honestly had a lot of fun with it.
That was a very good impression.
It was frustrating when Matt hid, but
I'm telling you, there's workarounds to it. Great. Oh, you know what, Josh? I know why that thing popped. Before the show, we were collecting our Pokemon for the third segment, and I ended up on a lingerie page on eBay, and I was like, well, how the fuck did this happen? It's a pop-up ad on Bulbapedia. And I know what you're going to say, Nick, those only pop up based off what you're searching, but I'm looking dead at the thing on a page that
disable pop-ups.
Huh?
Why do you have pop-up? Like, disable it.
I don't know. My pop-up blocker stopped working recently. I got to get a new one or something. Not pop-ups. I mean, it's just ads in general.
Oh, okay. I was like, pop-up, motherfucker,
Not
you
pop-ups.
got a virus or something.
Motherfucker, it's 2024. There are no pop-ups.
Yeah, those are a thing of the past, my friend.
Pop-ups are just like having a keyboard on your phone. If you've got it, something happened, and you're not okay, bro.
It's like an STD. One day it's not there, and the next it is.
Hey, you know what? iPhone, for the iPhone 16 or whatever one's next.
It's on 16 right now.
17 then. Keyboard. Oh no. I don't know. For the iPhone 17, Edge of 17 is going to be their song, isn't it?
Probably.
Boom, just like the one wing, duh. And it's going to be stupid. Like, there's going to be someone taking a picture and they're going to be like, oh my God, I can see the ad. I'm so mad. Let me go down. Let me see what else I've been playing. We played Liar's Bar right after playing Midnight
Liar's Bar.
Midnight Murder Midnight Murder Club. You got it wrong on here, Josh. It's not Murder Midnight Club.
You're the
I'm the bottom, sir. I'm the bottom in this situation.
Murder Midnight Club sounds way catchier, all right?
And not for an SEO standpoint, Josh. You got to start with Midnight. If you start with Murder, you're just gonna get lumped in with all the podcasts.
Anyway,
Liar's Bar is it's bullshit. The card game bullshit mixed with Russian roulette. You are these anamorphic, characters. So Josh was a sexy fox all night. I was a big bull. Jake was Jake the pig?
Yeah, Jake was the pig.
Jake
Matt
was
the
pig.
Dog.
Matt was the dog. The dog was named Scrubby, but it looks like it's Scooby Doo. It's a knockoff Scooby Doo. You play bullshit. If you call someone on their bullshit and they lied, they have to take the revolver and pull the trigger. And if you get shot, you're out. If you had your bullet enter your head, you're out of the game. It's kind of violent. It's a very simple game. You're in a stupid little bar. The bartender will randomly throw a knife at the wall. There's was it chimpanzee playing the guitar repeatedly?
Yeah, chimpanzee playing he's playing the banjo.
Playing the banjo. There's a bear on the couch.
There's a bear who's on the couch, and then every once in a while comes up and stands behind you and is like, what are you guys doing over here? We would just yell, bear, sit the fuck down.
Yeah, and so what you can do, this is one of those games where if you press a chat button, your voice will come out of the character. And so, if you're in a Discord with a bunch of people, you can hear them through your headset. Like I run my Discord through my headset. But then if the game's running through your speakers, then you can hear them. Like Matt, the bear would get up and Matt would be like, hey, sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck down, bear. And it got a laugh. It was like midnight by the time this was happening. So it would get a chuckle out of us every time. But that was fun. I love dumb little games like that. $7 on Steam. If you got some friends that you want to get rambunctious with and then have a little fun, in the game, the way the game would play is you do the it's Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter, that old war PC movie where they would put they'd be like, you'd have 2 seconds of them being like, oh my god, and you can chat through while that's going on, and we would play sound bits from a movie or from a song. I think I had Kid Rock, bang, you bang, and then click, you either die or you don't. And whenever you're goofing like that, you're hoping the bullet goes off. You're like, come on. How perfect would it be if it went off after having that played? But no, that was a fun, stupid little game. Quick little game that we'll probably never play again.
Sure, we'll play it again.
We'll play it again in 5 years.
It was fun.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. We have to all get together more often.
Yes.
We have to hold each other accountable. Get Mikey's ass in the Discord. Because we were all throughout the week. We're like, I'll show up around this time. I'll show up around this time. We just have to hold each other to it and be like, nah, I'm gonna get in here during that. And I know we keep saying Castle Crashers, but there's part of me that doesn't want to play Castle Crashers.
Then quit bringing it up.
I know. It's just part of the childhood, man. What else have I been doing? I've been reading Irredeemable. This is a comic series. The Boys, Invincible. People look at those and they're like, oh, this is like if Superman were evil, and it's like, not really. This is more of like, what if Superman were evil? But whereas The Boys is because Superman works for an evil corporation and was created in a lab, or Invincible is because Omni-Man is from another planet, and that was his whole life goal, his life mission, to bring Earth into the space colony or whatever, to colonize Earth basically with the Viltrumites. This is more of, what if Superman just got tired of our shit and how unappreciative we were of him being a superhero? This opens, so the character's name, oh shit, what's his name? I'm blanking. He's not called Irredeemable. The shit he does is irredeemable. And let me pull him up. I'm sorry. So when did this come out? You know what else I'm learning about this book? It's really hard to spell irredeemable when I'm not looking at it. Yes, so this is from Boom Studios when did this premiere? First comic was 2009. So this was, coming right after the housing boom. This is the what is it? It's not Mark. So it's by Mark Wald, who's done. He's been all over the big two, I believe. He's done Action Comics. Does he do Detective No, he does Batman and Robin. He's doing Batman and Robin Noir Edition. I'm forgetting Irredeemable's name. What if the world's greatest superhero? I guess I can just scroll down and see the superhero. Plutonian. His name's Plutonian. So it's very Superman coded.
Oh yeah, sounds like it.
Plutonian. That's why I don't remember, because it's such a stupid name. But so the first few pages, he's attacking one of his Justice League friends. I'm air quoting really hard. And he evaporates his wife and his baby. And you see, he evaporates them, and they melt, and all you see is their skeleton. There's also it's hinted at that there's a disease that occurs because he was being irresponsible with some kind of device that he gives to one of his fans that run a blog about him or hate him. I forget exactly what. I just started the second arc, so I'm still working through that. But there's a disease that hit the world, and if you get it and you're a child, you just start to decay. And it's the most, Josh, I don't know if I can show you on camera. I don't know if I'd be able to find it right away. But it's just the most haunting looking thing, because they turn into skeletons, but they still have their eyes in their sockets. And I know what you're thinking, like Sans from whatchamacallit, from Undertale. And it's like, no, not anything like Undertale. Undertale is cute. This, not very much. I'm gonna see if I can find one for you real quick, because this is super fucking. It is. Why is this being? Here, I'm gonna find it. Pages. And it's originally it's played for this will be a single issue thing, but it keeps coming back. So it's this is the thing that set them all apart. I'm sorry, I told myself I'd be more prepared for this episode. I might have lied. But there's also some heated stuff, but I'm going to keep talking while I'm looking for this. There's some heated stuff between the superheroes. You find out that Plutonian was fucking one of their wives, and they infiltrate his his lair, and Plutonian's got a room dedicated to his wife. And she finds the room, and her husband's like, "What's in there?" And she's like, "Nothing." So there's a little bit of comedy to it. It's hitting the comedy itch as well, but it's just so fucking. Just a weird fucking book that I'm really enjoying. Where are these fucking kids? Where are these dead? We're not gonna name this episode "Where Are These Dead Kids?"
Although apparently there's going to be a lot of them.
What are you talking about? Oh, from this book, or?
Never mind.
If this is something I have to cut, Josh.
It's not something you have to cut. People will understand once we get further into the episode.
Oh, the Pokemon stuff.
There you go, champ.
Yeah. Hey guys, Pokemon really hate kids apparently. They're not too fond of the kid. Oh, yep. Okay, so I found the issue. Where he's sleeping with the wife. Where are the kids? Do. Where are the kids? It's all right. I can't find. It's creepy though. Don't get me wrong.
All right. Well, let's just keep moving. Keep it moving.
I'm gonna stall for another 20 minutes. Wild Robot. So I've watched the Wild Robot. It's out on Amazon. You can rent it for $25 or buy it for $30. I bought it because I was like, just fucking buy it at that price. It's a DVD.
And they're fucking renting for $25. What the fuck?
It's because it just came out. That's why.
That's no excuse.
So this is the new DreamWorks joint. This is a robot, is on an island with a bunch of animals. It's not supposed to be there. It's basically about a robot raising a goose because it killed the goose's parents on accident when it rolled over them. And it is very much a movie about your programming and reworking the way you're built to meet your call to action. It's a very sad movie. My son had us watch it about 20 times over the weekend, And I cry every time. So the goose, the robot's like, I don't know what to do with this kid. I don't want it. And there's a possum mom voiced by Catherine O'Hara, and she's like, you don't want to do any, like, you don't know how to do it. You just do it. And she's funny because she's got these 7 possum babies, and she's like, I'm the proud possum mom of 7 babies. And there's a growl from an animal and a scream, and it's like 6 possum babies.
Jesus.
There's a lot of death in this movie for it being a kids movie. But I will tell you that possum does come back like right away. She's like, she comes back all beat up and kind of chewed up, and she's like, I'm alive. And the mom's like, great. But I will say, I was watching it a later scene, and there's only 6 possum babies. So I was like, oh my God. I think they killed one of the possums off screen. I think it's dead. But no, so she learns like, okay, well, I have to learn how to feed this duckling or this gusling, whatever it's called. I have to make it fly. I have to make it swim. And by the midway point of the movie, there's a migration scene where, and this gooseling, by the way, is like a runt. So the odds are already against them. And against all odds, they teach it to fly, and he's helping lead the flock with like the elder goose. And oh, the soundtrack, the music swells. It makes you feel something. And then the goose is gone for the migration for the winter, and the robot whose name is I've seen the movie 30 times. I'm forgetting her name right now. I think it's Raz. She's like, I don't know what to do now. I guess I'm gonna put my homing beacon on and go back to wherever I belong. Go back to the factory, I guess, whatever. And then they end up like all the animals that hate her, she ends up saving them for the winter because it's a cold winter. So she digs them all up out of the ground and like brings them to their little humble abode. It's just a good movie. Anyone listening to me right now should go watch The Wild Robot. It's probably really good in theaters. Really sad. And, second banger from DreamWorks after the last Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I think they did something between that. I think they did. I couldn't even tell you, but it's not as good as Puss in Boots and The Wild Robot. Go watch that. Other thing I watched was English Teacher, which is an FX show. Really fucking good. Only 8 episodes. It's about an English teacher. The high school kids are very. It's a really good look at like how fast things change between kids. Like the first scene after everything is started is the teacher's like, the kids are no longer woke. They're now against what they were originally for, and it's just, and the kid characters are smart and funny. The adult characters are smart and funny. It's just a really smart show. And then there's a gym teacher, and the lead character is a gay English teacher, and there's a scene where the gym teacher's calling out for him. He's like, "Hey, Fruit Loop," and he's like, "Marky, you can't call me that." He's like, "It's a fucking cereal." And he's like, "Well, then call me a Cheerio." And he's like, "There's nothing gay about Cheerios." And it's really good. It's so much fun. The last episode has, the last episode I watched, they were at a gay bar for the English teacher's birthday. And there's a principal. The principal character is very uncomfortable. He's a very uncomfortable guy. And there's a whole bunch of gay porn playing on the TVs. He's like, "Hey, did you know there's gay porn playing on in the back?" He's just so out of his pot. He's so out of his element. He's out of pocket, and I love it. It's a good show, though. I recommend it to anybody. Yeah, man, that's what I've been up to. Not as much gaming this week, but some good watching, good reading. I'm gonna find those scary skull kids. Josh, go ahead and tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, so currently reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed.
Is that the top-down one?
No, it is the God, how would you say it?
Have you played it?
So I'm trying to think. I don't know what technically it would be called. So remember Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks?
Yeah.
Basically, it's like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a top-down action.
That's not really mean. It's not so much a top-down, I guess, technically, because the camera pans out.
Fixed camera that pans.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
okay,
a 3/4 angle. Like cockeyed, yeah.
It's the iteration that they currently have going on Nickelodeon right now. I call it the weird design because it's definitely more kid friendly, and they made the They made the turtles like a little more teenager-ish, I guess, like early pubescence. Um, and it's super weird because you know like how we grew up with them, and they only wore the bandanas over the eyes, basically, or the
Right.
little, I don't know what you call that.
Do they have like skull caps in this one, don't they?
Well, like Leonardo is wearing like a button down shirt, long sleeve with like khaki pants, and Ralph is wearing like a trench coat, like, and he has like for him it's like he's super big, like he's bigger than the rest of them. And then
Ralph was
like
always they always kind of tried to show him being. I remember the TMMT from Fox back when it was like the Saturday morning cartoon.
yeah,
He did look a little puffier.
yeah, like I mean they like he's always been bigger, but they don't make him like bigger. They just make him like I almost want to say fat, like fatter. Like he just has like a bigger shell. Like he's it's gonna sound terrible. It looks like he almost has like a hunched back
He's
with his trench
jacked.
coat on.
He's
Yeah,
jacked. Oh, by the
but it
way,
just doesn't look like it.
so I didn't find the skeleton kids I was talking about. But here's the scene, like the opening scene.
Yeah,
Now you
Jesus
see the
Christ.
baby. Now you don't see the baby.
Oof.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and it's looks like it's, I guess, after like a certain part of, I guess maybe where the last season of the show maybe ended, or the movie they had come out. I'm actually not entirely sure because I've never watched it, but it's definitely like it's more set like they're already friends with April O'Neil, um, and there's a bunch of mutants now. It's not just them. There's like the enemies I've fought so far have been like bees that have like boxing gloves, basically.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I feel about this art style.
It's okay. I mean, it's a kids game, so I'm not like I'm not gonna like stab it in the eye and say it's awful.
I want I need them to grow up. I need being a 30 plus year old man, I need the turtles to no longer be teenaged.
I'm ready for the last Ronin. That's what I want. I want to see. I think it's not Ralph. It's either Ralph or Leonardo. I can't remember who it is.
Raph's the last Ronin.
Okay, yeah,
I've seen the comics. I think it
yeah,
is Raph. Yeah.
yeah. Like I want that. I want it to be dark as shit. I want there to be multiple people being murdered. I want to watch the turtles be killed. As terrible as that sounds. Oh,
This is giving me kind of because so yeah, the camera like in a big room it'll like pan out and it won't follow you. But now I'm watching it and the guy just went down a hallway and now it's following him down the hallway. I'm not a big
yeah.
fan of those cameras.
Yeah, that's why it's like I don't know how to truly explain it because it shifts, and I'm like I don't want to give the wrong impression of it. It's not that it's bad; it's just I can't think of like what you would call that.
Oh, it's like Xbox 360 Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, and now we're picking up on the same language here. I just went to PS2 era
I
with
don't know. I
Shaolin
don't know if
Monk.
that's a good comparison though. I don't know if people want like, hey, maybe don't mention us in the last
That's
Avatar game that people used to achievement hunt or the Last Airbender. Maybe
hey,
don't do that.
I did that with both the Last Airbender and Korra, so don't judge me.
I know you did. I am judging you really hard. Okay, so
Yeah, so
you're still working on that review. What else you got?
yeah, been playing Off the Grid. That is it's on Epic Game Store. It's the battle royale where you can change limbs and they have certain abilities. I'm playing that with my buddy Jordan. We're actually having a lot of fun with it. It's for a game in beta right now. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, this kind of looks like a third person Apex.
Yep.
Just from a vibe standpoint. Okay, he just jumped off a building and he's riding through checkpoints. It's kind of with all the palm trees. It's kind of giving me. Oh, what's that PC game that everyone uses as a benchmark for their Crisis?
Yeah, Crisis.
Kind of giving me Crisis vibes looking at the art style here.
So I put it as it's the aesthetic of Cyberpunk, but it's Apex meets Warzone.
I do like the fact that there's multiple ways to stay in the air. It seems like it's very aerial based.
Oh yeah, like the jet. So you don't have parachute, you have a jetpack, and you can use it at any time, and it's really fluent where you go. Excuse me, I was like, God. Ugh.
Oh goodness, sleepy
I
boy.
know it's big on. Your legs can have certain abilities, so you can have one that's called Leaper, where basically you just jump really high. and you can use that to continue it. You've got runner, which basically just makes you a god, like it was running, like you like leap forward fast. Like it almost feels like you're the Flash to an extent.
So what you're telling me is Anthem hovered so this game could leap.
Exactly.
Anthem catching strays
And the
today.
abilities are super cool. Now, the one thing that's a little off-putting, in my opinion, is no matter what you do, they try to get you onto their subscription, their monthly thing.
Hey, battle pass, buddy.
Yes, and the thing with it is like, hey, if you have this, it's easier for you to basically unlock all the weapons because it is a battle royale in the sense of, yes, you don't have to find everything, but it takes a note from Warzone. It makes you, it gives you the ability to have loadouts, and you can find the little loadout capsules, and you can get your loadout basically.
The more I
But
watch this, the more the gunplay looks like not too special. The gunplay just
it,
feels like it feels like you're there for the movement, and the gunplay is just like, yeah, if you want to shoot, you shoot.
yeah, I would say you're there for the movement and the abilities. Beyond that, the gun. I mean, the gunplay is so generic.
I did like that seemed like a one-shot kill right there that I just watched. What I'm waiting for in these battle royales, like I think the natural movement for battle royales will be, kind of a focus on differentiating gameplay styles. So like, you have your run and gun, you have your people that are like, I'm gonna skydive, or you have your people who want to do melee. Like, give me the ability to do stealth. Like, let me be a stealth build. And I know Apex is kind of dabbled in that.
I just want my bow and arrow. Give me a bow and arrow. Like, that's the one thing I loved about Apex is when they bring out the bow check. That thing is my dream weapon.
Boombo was a pretty good, one of my favorites. They're actually bringing that season back, so I'm excited for it. What else you got on the list here, Mister Off the Grid?
Lastly, I've got Rogue Galaxy.
Which one is this again? You've mentioned this before. I'm blanking.
It's a PS2 originally game. I am playing on PS2 emulator, but I kept seeing it on PlayStation Store. They re-released it. Oh, we got to go. I'm so sorry.
Breathe, dude. Breathe.
I know. I'm sorry. They re-released it for the PS4, like basically made it a high def version. And I kept seeing it, and I'm like, it looks fun. I watched a couple of videos. I'm like, I've never seen it before. I've never heard of it. I want to try it. So I just went ahead and grabbed the PS2 version, started playing it. It basically is an early version of.
It's okay. It's turn-based. It's a turn-based PS2 game, right?
Well, it's not even turn-based. Think of it like Kingdom Hearts, but it has a stamina bar
Okay.
in each fight. So like you go into an area, you encounter the enemies, which starts the fight, but then you're able to go in and do combos. Use your main character has a sword and a gun, and you can only use to a certain point before your stamina runs out. And you either have to successfully block and parry to restore all of it, or you have to let it recharge really quick before you can continue fighting.
Yeah, so I'm getting Tails vibes from watching this. My goodness, the frames, the frames. The game looks good though. It looks really good for what is this? Was this a midlife console?
I would say it's like mid early, yeah, somewhere in there.
Do you have a year on this?
I could tell you one. Give me 1 second.
Why is not giving me anything? Now you got me on it. 2005. So yeah, towards the end of the PS2.
Oh, I lied then. I'm sorry. I thought it was mid early.
Fucking liar.
Yeah, I mean, I kept seeing it. I'm like, I kind of want to try it. It looks cool. And I'm not very far. I just started it. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's not what I expected so far. But at the same time, like, okay, it's holding my interest. I want to keep going. I'm already this far into it.
It looks good. I do like this. I do think we're missing that. I know what's the JRPG everyone's fawning over right now?
Metaphor. Yes,
so,
I want it so bad.
So I mean, we're getting a little bit of that, but I do think, and we got a Tales game in the last 4 years, right? It was 2021 was the last Tales game, right? Tales of Vesperia.
No, it was 22 because we just got Tales of Arise.
Tales of Arise. Okay, I knew it was something. I knew there was a Tales game.
Yeah, Vesperia was the one before that. I'm proud of you for knowing that.
Which one was that?
No, no. Well,
Vesperia?
technically, no, it was technically after it because it's a re-release. It's an HD version of it.
When did
So
it come out?
originally,
Yeah.
it was on the 360 and PS3, so 2009.
Tales of Vesperia. My light is flickering behind me. Originally 2008, but as you said, I think there was a re-release 2019.
Oh, it was even before that. I thought it was after.
So
Okay,
then Tales
either
of
way.
Arise was the one in 22. Tales of Arise. No, September 2021. Josh, pay up.
Oh,
Pay up.
well, you think I would know that since I love the Tales franchise and I bought it and I pre-ordered. I was like, I think that's actually the last game I pre-ordered. I think.
I believe I only know it because I was unemployed at the time. That's when I was coming over to fill out job applications and play games.
Oh, that's right. Because yeah. Because I remember I stayed home that day and you came over and you watched me play it the whole day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a memory with that game. Is it fond? Parts of it.
In my opinion, it's definitely the hardest Tales game I've ever played.
I just associate it with job hunting, so I'm like, this fucking game.
But yeah, that's all I did this week. Just lots of gaming.
Lots of gaming, good. I'm glad you got time because you didn't get the time last week, and I told you to get the time. And
I finally did.
Finally, it's about time.
About damn time.
About damn time. You ready to do some news?
Yeah, let's do the news.
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news.
Let's do the news. All right. First up,
First off.
Oh no, wait. That's you. That's what you say.
Yeah, I get to start off. Yeah. First off, World of Warcraft celebrating its 20th anniversary. This is a Game Right article written by Eric Law. So, first off, this article is talking about the discounts for the in-game services. But I want to mention, I picked it mainly because World of Warcraft is celebrating 20 years, which is mind-blowing.
You know what? I knew it was special when South Park did a whole episode in it. That's when I was like, yeah, you know what? I think this is probably going to be around for a while.
And with how demanding the player base, not just in World of Warcraft, the player base in general for MMOs has gotten, it's amazing that it's up there.
Has 14 surpassed this in player count? Like,
I think they have.
What about congruent? Like, is World of Warcraft still the biggest MMO ever at a certain point, or is 14 kind of like?
I think I think World of Warcraft technically still beats it, but I wouldn't say by much. I'd still say enough to be able to take the title home, though.
I do dislike these articles that are basically ads. Mister, you gotta stop yawning, Mister.
No, dude. I'm sorry.
You gotta breathe. No, I really dislike these where it's like, this is on, and I get it why they do it, but also it's like, is this journalism? Like, what's the meme with the butterfly? The butterfly is this
that a
article.
Bird? What is this? A bird?
What is this? Journalism? No, nothing against Eric Law. It's just what these websites have folks doing to, push the SEO in their direction.
Hey,
and I'm sure that's how you found it.
Money?
That's how you Googled this, and it was like, oh, hey.
I do the same thing I do every week, Nick. Gaming news this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it works every time.
But hey, cool that World of Warcraft hit its 20 years. Microsoft's going to keep them pumping shit out because they're like, hey, this is the one thing besides Call of Duty that we really wanted. So keep that motherfucker going.
And I say it's only a matter of time before they're like, yeah, we're going to put this bad boy on the Xbox.
It's only a matter of time. I do want to read Jason Schreier's Blizzard book that just came out recently. The what is it? I think it's called Plain Ice, and it covers a lot of the shady shit going on behind the scenes. Yeah, hey, congrats, guys. We're not going to do any more of the ad for you, though.
No.
What's next?
You actually put the next one up.
I did. Let me do this one. So Netflix closed Team Blue. This was their studio. Speaking of Blizzard, that they, they pulled people from Blizzard and Bungie. This is going to be their big AAA play, and Netflix is kind of. I pitched a joke in Hard Drive, and it was Netflix. Remember, it has a gaming focus, and then I closes studio. And yeah, so they pulled these guys away, and Steven Tortillo looks like he wrote up in Game File about this. Yeah, it was less than 2 years. They were gonna put out some big projects. Netflix has been playing around in games. They bought Night School and bought the Oxenfree people, and put out Oxenfree 2. I hope that Night School is in a good spot, because the Oxenfree games are really fucking good. Really good narrative games. And, for those who don't know, Netflix is doing games. So if you download Netflix on your phone and do the games bit, you open Netflix, you open a game, like Into the Breach is on there, but then it sends you back to Apple to download it. It's fucking weird. It's the weirdest. It's not implemented.
Very weird.
It seems like an afterthought. But yeah, Netflix is pushing into games. I think they're going to try to get out of games, though. In case I didn't mention, by the way, this is an article from John Walker over at Kotaku. Yeah, I think there's more of this to come. I think Netflix is going to be like, Night School, bye.
I think they bit off more than they could chew, and they're like, we're already failing in one industry. I don't think we want to fail in two.
Well, so they're doing pretty well on the streaming side. And they'll keep telling people that, the password crackdown is really bringing in the numbers.
Even though they're already pushing another price increase.
That's everybody. Everyone's like, I just got another Hulu one in my email, and it feels like every other
don't
month.
say that. We just got one. Don't say that.
Hulu, I think it's like $18. I'm staying commercial. What they're doing is trying to get everyone to go into the ad level, so that then they can be like, here's how many people we have on our ad level, and sell more advertisements. But Netflix, yeah, so they're reporting that they're doing well on the streaming side, but it also sounds like they're trying to rework how they do deals with creators on the TV side. So with them putting that much work into that, I don't know how much they're going to be able to put on the gaming side. So I'm not going to get excited. I love Night School Studios. I think they're great. I hope they stick around for a long time. I'm just a little worried. That's all I got to say. More good news next, right?
No. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Team disbanded after critically lauded platformer fails to meet expectations. This is an IGN article written by Rebecca Valentine.
The Rebecca Valentine. I'm not completely surprised that Ubisoft did this. This is very on brand for them. But also, when you look at something like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, first you got to look at it came out in January. I don't believe it had a physical release.
No, it did.
Did it? It wasn't right away though, was it? It was like later on.
I think it was like a month or two later. But there's PS4, PS5, and Xbox One.
Yeah, I've seen them now. I just don't think it was when it came out. What else?
No, not when it first came out.
Digitally, it only came out on Ubisoft's Uplay, or whatever it's called. Yeah. It's had 100 different names, and it's a story-based game. Like when you're putting games out like that, you kind of have to. You can't be looking at that and then licking your chops, looking at Prince of Persia in the other room like this. Like, no, this is a smaller, contained game. I don't think it was priced. It's on Steam now. Let me see what it's going for on Steam here.
Probably full price. My guess would be.
I think it was $50, right?
I know physically right now, if I wanted to buy it, I can get it for like $30.
Okay, well, first of all, if you get on Steam and type in The Lost Crown, there's a knockoff that is trying. No, it's not a knockoff. It came out in 2014. I'm sorry. Sorry to the developers of The Lost Crown. So it's $40 on it's $40 on Steam. So it's a pretty hefty price for a smaller game. I think it's great. I reviewed it, so I'm the asshole that got a review copy. So Sorry, but I do think this is a little pricey for the size of game that it is. I think people are trained to see a Metroidvania these days. If it's not Nintendo, they're not paying more than what, $30?
It was not Nintendo or a Hollow Knight sequel.
See, Hollow Knight's 15. I'm trying to think. What's another popular?
Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Ori. Oh, okay. So Ori and the Will of the Wisp 30. Yeah. So I feel like 30 is the normal. So asking $39.99, asking for $40 for this seems a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I think when it came out, they were even asking people for like, I think I want to say it was 60.
It's just kind of crazy because at the beginning of the year, this game came out and people were like, "Oh, Ubisoft did something good," and then what else came out? X Defiant came out and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like the worst thing that's ever been played.
We thought Ubisoft finally was on their game. Like, hey, they're actually attempting and doing really decent at it for once, and then they shit the bed.
And The Lost Crown, like I said, it's a great game. It's a fun game, but yeah, this was never going to come out and be a big hit, especially at that price.
No, if they had made it a little bit cheaper, I think that. I mean, honestly, it's a solid game. I enjoy it for what it is.
Look, I don't want the IGN comments agreeing with me, but the first IGN comment said the same thing.
It isn't really.
I'm not looking for validation from the IGN comments.
So it does.
IGN comments be damned.
God damn it! Once you start actually manifesting what the comments are saying, you're like, "Fuck, I'm one of them."
I'm an IGN commenter. No.
Yeah, next you're gonna be a moderator.
That might be the title of the episode.
Yeah,
Continue. Sorry.
I was just saying it's depressing because it's a really good game. Like I would have loved to see a sequel.
I would have too, but also I think Metroidvanias at this point, it's kind of it's a
dying breed.
It's a pretty bloated genre right now.
Yeah, I would say compared to others, but at the same time, it's only the few that do it really well that are keeping it going.
I want to. So they're still doing Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. When will we see that? Who fucking knows? But apparently that thing's been reworked and reworked. So maybe we'll see it next week. Maybe we'll see it next year.
You know what we won't?
Maybe we'll see Beyond Good and Evil.
Do you know what we won't see?
What won't we see?
Killzone. Going forward, at least. Horizon dev explains why Guerrilla needed to leave Killzone behind.
So I haven't read this. Can I take a guess?
Go right ahead.
Can I take a guess? It's because it's Nazi coded.
Yes and no. I mean, they're basically coming out saying like, "Hey, well, first off, let's look at it from a player perspective. Killzone 1 was fantastic when it came out on the PS2. Agreed?
Yep.
And then we got Killzone 2, which was like one of the first entries for the PS3. Fantastic again. Got introduced. This I think was actually one of the first games to introduce aim down sights on the PS3.
Killzone 2?
Yeah.
I can't say.
I mean, it's not
outright.
the first, but it was like this is when we're starting to see how all the game developers started to actually use the aim down sights.
I think the Call of Duties are doing it on console.
Yeah, I mean, they introduced that with like Big Red 1. I think that was like the first time Call of Duty started actually doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. So after that, though, Killzone kind of started falling apart. You had the PSP Liberation, I think is what it was called, and it didn't do too hot. Then Killzone 3 was very weak coming out the doors. Then you had the PS Vita 1. I can't even remember the name of that one. I think they all started to like blend in and weren't what we were introduced to. It was just more of like a action-y game than it was this war first-person shooter. But I digress. That's just from the player perspective.
I'm reading this. Let me for the viewers at home. Let me read this to you. By the way, if you're on video, you can just read along if you want. Did we say who this article is by? This is Evan Campbell, by the way, from
Campbell over at GameSpot.
We're sloppy today. We're sloppy. It's okay. Hey, if you're not doing sloppy podcasting, you're not You got to get down in the mud with us sometimes. That choice has now led to LEGO Horizon Adventures, which will release November 14th on the PC, PS5, and even Nintendo Switch. I think the themes that this story and the character represent are relatable for all ages and people, like having a found family of friends and finding your place in the world. I like the sentiment. You're making a LEGO game. I don't...
Well, hold on. We're making a LEGO game about getting revenge.
Last of Us 2 LEGO coming soon.
I just want to reiterate
so
that is essentially what it is.
So they're doing a LEGO game, but they're also doing a Horizon Online, which I'm like, after, what's been going on with Sony and their games as a service, like, why would anyone be excited for that? Speaking with the Washington Post, Posma explained why Guerrilla left Killzone behind and set their sights on what became Horizon Zero Dawn. We were done with it as a team, as a studio. We needed to refresh the palette. Posma said it was by choice the opposite of Killzone, which, again, I get it. Hey, we've done this a bunch of times. We're done. We're out. But then you go on and you're doing the third person action that Sony has, made its thing, made its bread and butter. Like, to a point, don't you get to a point where you're like, we're done. We're getting back. We need a cleanse. We're doing a new Killzone.
Well, when you're making money, I mean, let's face it right now. Even though every single time they have released a Horizon fucking game, it has been in between two other powerhouse games. Twice now they've done it.
It would be hilarious. The
third time.
LEGO Horizon Adventures is overshadowed by LEGO Elden Ring on the same day.
And yet somehow they still be making Fistful. But don't get me wrong, I love Horizon. Like, it's a fantastic franchise. Like, the IP in general. Like, there's just something about it. For being Sony's bread and butter, I absolutely love them.
I think that Horizon is just that series. It's like very, like, it's Sony's Metroid. It's Sony's Metroid, right? It's kind of it's third fiddle to Spider-Man and Last of Us. It's a weird spot, right? It's their third. Would you say
it's quite literally the redheaded child?
It's quite literally their Samus Aran.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Netflix show just got canned, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yep. And
so it's that series that just keeps like butting its head against all these random things. And I hope the Horizon LEGO game comes out and there's nothing I hope it does gangbusters for them, just because I want that team to have a win, because the last two games have been overshadowed by two games that are considered like game changers in their genres and for their platforms.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. So Tears of the Kingdom was the last one it butted heads with.
2017, yep.
No, Tears of the Kingdom.
No, it didn't butt heads with Tears of the Kingdom. It butted heads with Elden Ring. Elden Ring.
Are we sure?
Elden
I thought
Ring.
It was in between Elden Ring and Tears of the Kingdom.
No, Elden Ring was 2022. And not what was the Forbidden West? Forbidden West and Elden Ring came out within a spittle of each other.
So it was not Tears of the Kingdom, but it was Breath of the
because
Wild.
Tears of the Kingdom was last year. Breath of the Wild came out at the same time as Zero Dawn.
Okay,
and
that's
ain't Zero Dawn's launch.
They're the same game. Let's be honest. They're practically the same game.
It's sad that it happened, but it's also funny that it happened twice.
I mean, quite literally. Like, for Christ's sake, like, I want to give them throw them a bone.
But also, when you're looking at stuff like that, when you're looking at release windows, don't you kind of know that, like, hey, this Elden Ring thing over here, these Souls games, people really like Bloodborne. Are we sure they're not, like, they really like this stuff? Should we release around here?
Nah, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Same for Zelda. Like, hey, first Zelda in first proper Zelda in how long? Should we?
Too long. Yeah.
Should we? Like, that one makes a little more sense because you're not cross pollinating across consoles. That one makes sense. But the Elden Ring one, I'm like, oh no.
What were you guys thinking?
What were you thinking? And that was also, I mean, we were coming out of COVID. We were coming out of the pandemic at that point, but still people were at home, so people had more time for shit like that. Yeah, bring Killzone back.
Bring it back. But do better. Do better.
It was fine. One more. What you got, Josh?
Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition price drops $50 amid canceled season pass and the canceled early access.
This is from Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. I mean, this is a second Ubisoft story. Do I need to shit on them again?
Yes. I'm sorry. They came out swinging with Skull and Bones saying it's going to be a quadruple A game, the first one ever, and it was by far the shittiest game I've ever played in my life.
Somebody was trolling them recently with the quadruple A thing. Some gaming company did like they started it like that, and then they basically were calling somebody an idiot. What was it? I have to find it. It's a good tweet. It's a good subtweet about Skull and Bones and Ubisoft.
But then on top of that, then they had to come out after the release Outlaws and go, "That's not our fault. It's the gamers."
The gamers just don't get it, man.
So of course, like, and at this point, I feel for the grunt workers, the people who actually put it in the day to day. It's these asshole executives or like high level producers that are coming out and making these comments, and I'm like, you fucking deserve to burn in every single ring of hell.
Man, it's just what is Ubisoft anymore? What, like, we know what they are, but like the Far
I feel
Cry's,
like they're intentionally
the Far Cry's, the Assassin's Creeds. They come out and you're like, yeah, it's like the thing you did, but with like a reframing in Japan, or you got the guy from Breaking Bad to be the bad guy this time. Cool. Am I climbing towers? Am I taking bases? Is there a big map with a bunch of blips for me to go clear? Cool, man.
I just feel like at this point they're trying to purposely make themselves fail.
Oh man, I played a little bit of Chaos Theory the other day, and I didn't want to mention it because I'm doing the retrospective article. Man, Ubisoft had it good in the fucking Xbox and the 360 era, man. That shit was fucking bananas. You're telling me you can't go back and do level-based shit? You're telling me Tom Clancy's dead and Tom Clancy's dead and you're the one that looks like shit?
That motherfucker's rolling in his grave after all this shit Ubisoft's doing.
It's been how long? He's been dead for like 20
He's been there for
years.
a long. Yeah, he's been there for a long
20,
time.
Hold on, we're searching this shit. When did Tom Clancy die? I'm breaking away from. Oh wow, I can't Google today. Hold on. When did Tom Clancy die? Okay, it's been
10 years. For 11
it's been
years.
11 years. I could have sworn he died when we were kids, but 2013. Thomas Samantha Clancy, rolling in his grave. You guys had it all.
I mean, literally, Chaos Theory, Double Agent. Those were the only two. That was the only two games you gave me and said this is from this new company called Ubisoft, I'd say give them whatever the fuck they want because they knew what they were doing with that shit.
Even like when you look back, like the Prince of Persia games from like 2003 up to 2010, great. Fucking Assassin's Creed up to Black Flag, like they're all trying new things. They didn't feel like they were they were technically open worlds, but they weren't bloat. Like a lot of this is fucking bloat. Even the Tom Clancy games, like the Ghost Recon game, and I think we did all that. I think we went through all these last week with the Tom Clancy games. So we won't do it again. We won't do it again. But now look at like people like the Division, but it's like really you needed to do numbers come out of people's heads as you shoot them. I remember being so excited for that first Division game, like the setting, the pandemic, New York, it's snowing. I was like, oh my god, that's a really cool setting, and like they're sleeper agents being activated, and then they're running up on, like I remember seeing this trailer where they're running up on this cop car. the terrorists are hiding behind, and then they're in cover and they come out of cover and they shoot at them. And then as soon as I saw the first fucking number pop up above someone's head, I was like, fuck.
So close.
No, you
So
had it.
close.
You fucking had it, and then you fucking biffed it.
Even what was is it called the dark zone or the dark area? Where the area where you had the PvP?
It was like the raid, like kind of like the raids, right?
Yeah.
You would go.
Well,
in for
it was
the
like
loot.
you would go in for the loot, and then you could kill their players and take the loot that they got. And the only way you keep the loot is if you actually extract with it.
Josh, we have to get off the division, or I'm gonna have a stroke mid podcast.
Just Ubisoft, they were so close, and then literally they were like up to here, like they were at the top with all the shit, and then just slowly started going downhill.
Fucking Far Cry 2 and 3 became the especially once they hit 3, became these narrative heavy like island open world adventures that were fun. Like and
the antagonists were just fantastic.
2 had like a really good forge mode, if I remember. I remember someone building a roller coaster in that. And then 4 hit, and 4 felt like this is like this is the best version of this you're going to get. Like, go have fun. And then they're just like, rinse and repeat, guys? You guys want us to rinse and repeat? And like do the same thing we've been doing, but like cost million, like have these bloated budgets and deliver these bloated games that if we release them, we're gonna need everyone to buy 10 copies for this to be worth it.
Season pass?
Hey, that season pass looks really good on you. How about another one, buddy? How about a season pass for a friend?
But yeah, so
you want to buy
which
you want to buy this SpongeBob skin for your assassin? Come on.
So just to acknowledge his article, the collector's edition dropped $50 basically because they canceled the season pass. That's basically it.
Well, good on them canceling the season pass. It does seem like Ubisoft is a boat with a hole in the bottom, and now they're like bucketing out the water right now.
I feel like they're just kind of staring at it, going, "What can we use to cover it?" rather than trying to save themselves.
What's that meme with the thing where they slap it on the water?
Yeah. Oh,
Flex
the
seal.
Flex seal. Yes.
That fucking thing. Josh, thanks for pulling the news. It was mostly good. Mostly.
Yeah, sure.
You got a meme for us?
Oh, I certainly do.
Me time.
All right, what you got?
By far one of the greatest SpongeBob memes ever.
I quote this one all the time.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? And at the bottom, it's old man Ubisoft surrounded by Star Wars fan base, Prince of Persia fan base, and the Assassin's Creed fan base about to catch those hands.
I mean, I feel like excluding the Tom Clancy heads, Josh, that's really fucked up.
There's only 3 people there. I'm going off the most recent.
It's really fucked up.
I'm going off the most recent. I'm not saying they're not there. There's a 4th person there. The Tom Clancy folks would be in there. But right now, they've pissed off just about every fucking fan base in existence.
It's a good meme. I didn't post the one last week. I'm not going to post this one either.
You sick son of a bitch.
Though I did say last week's was good, so I'll probably go back and do that.
That was my magnum opus.
Your magnum opus. Good job, Josh. It's an okay meme. So we're going to finish up. So it's spooky season. We talked about doing Pokemon stories. Now that we're doing this, I would like for us next week to consider doing like our 3 scariest moments in games, or like our 5 or whatever. Like moments that you think about all the time where you're like, oh, fuck.
Wait, did we do that last year?
I don't think we did.
I think we did that last year.
I don't think we did. I do not think we might have picked scary games. If you want to go back and listen to the tapes,
I'll pull the tapes. I'll let you know.
Pull tapes.
I'll pull the tapes.
Pull the fucking tapes. So Josh and I, we were talking about the leaked Pokemon stuff last week, where Typhlosion, had a rap sheet. He was basically doing the same shit Zeus did, tricking people into sleeping with him, and creating Pokemon human hybrids that were weird. So we thought for spooky season to pick out some spooky Pokemon lore, or spooky things around Pokemon. And some of these are like your classics. Like, for example, I have Cubone in there. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're about to know. So we picked 3 things, and I picked a bonus thing that I'll tell you about in a little bit. I'll start. Yeah, so my first one is Drillfloon. So if you know Drillfloon, Drillfloon was introduced, I believe, Gen 4, so that was around Diamond. Looks like a balloon. Is a cute little purple balloon with a cloud on its head and some drawstrings because it's a balloon. It's a ghost flying type, which I didn't know it was a ghost. I always knew it was a flying type. But if you scroll down, and I believe it is the Heart Gold Soul Silver Pokedex entry on this one, it is whispered that any child who mistakes Drillfloon for a balloon and holds onto it could wind up missing. That's right. Pokemon is implying that children grab onto this thing, they think it's a balloon, it floats off with them and kills them by dropping them later on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. The Nintendo and Game Freak wouldn't have you believe it. They wouldn't tell it to you like we are, but we're telling you now. Which also, I'm realizing that Pokedex entry is from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, so those are the re-releases of Gen 2. I wonder how much of the Pokedex entries of newer Pokemon in remakes of older generations kind of like have the mystery around the Pokemon and are like, ooh, we don't know too much about it because you're in Johto. But that was my first one. What you got, Josh?
Yeah, I want to bring this up because you just made me think about it. Why is it in every iteration of a new generation before that they're like, oh yeah, there's only like 350 Pokemon, like that's not a big deal. Okay, yeah, and then all of a sudden there's this new introduction. Well, actually, there's 450. Like, whoa, what the fuck? Where'd this extra 100 come from? Just magically appear?
They're kind of touch and go with how many Pokemon are out there at any given point.
Yeah, it's just all of a sudden like there's I can't remember who made the video, but someone's like, it's like a make fun of like Pokemon. They're like playing as Ash, like, hey, Professor Oak, I just caught all 151 Pokemon. He's like, oh, that was fast. He goes, yeah, I'm the greatest Pokemon trainer ever. And he's like, hold on a second. And it goes like silent for like 15 seconds and comes back. Actually, there's whole other region with all these Pokemon. And Ash goes, wait a minute. You just told me there's only 151. Now you're telling me there's a whole other region? Because actually there's like 5 more. And he's like, whoa, what the fuck? Why would you tell me there's only that much? And it's just like cursing him out the whole time. Anyway, I digress.
Speaking of Johto, I think Johto is probably the most spooky of the regions.
Yes, I would agree. At least that I'm aware. Once you get past like the 5th and 6th, I'm like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, there's one with a lot of water. I know that much. But Johto like has the burnt down tower, and like the Ho-Oh is like, he was here, but he's not here because we burnt down the tower. Now everyone hates us. The 3 legendary dogs are like haunting that town. Lugia like looms in the cave and is very mysterious. The Ampharillo stuff with the lighthouse is also really spooky, as I remember. And then just the caves. Caves in general in Pokemon freak me the fuck out. But Johto, there was just something about Johto. It just felt very ghost like. And
let's not forget they had all the unknowns too.
The unknowns were creepy too. Yes, thank you. I forgot about the unknowns. Fucking trying to make me learn the alphabet in Pokemon. Nice fucking try.
Make you capture one of each letter, you sick sons of bitches.
I have to catch all 24? What? What's your first one?
So it's not official, but it's kind of like hinted at, especially in the first 2 generations of Pokemon, but the Kanto War. Then the theory is, or the lore of it is, there's no middle-aged people. It's either they're super young kids, like Ash, like when he first goes out, he's 10 years old.
He's a baby.
But he's a baby. And basically so is Misty and Brock and all them. But then beyond maybe Ash's mom, the only thing you see beyond that is people maybe a little bit older than them, so still in their teenage years, or much older, like Professor Oak, like the older people. Does
that explain why there are so many Jennies and Joys as well?
That might be. That's probably more of like a repopulation thing, though. Which we'll get to that later on.
where they're like, you go hump that Joy and make like 10 more Joys. Come on,
go ahead and do that.
Come on. Do they still do Jennies and Joys in the animes?
As far as I'm aware, they do.
I watched a little bit of the Pokemon Adventures, the newer series, which has a banging soundtrack, by the way.
The one that doesn't have Ash, right?
No, Ash is in it, but it's like a retelling. Like they find Lugia in the second episode. I fucking hate it for that reason, Because like you're finding these legendary Pokemon willy nilly. Fuck you.
I mean, he technically found Oho in the first episode, so
Yeah, but that was more of a like he was riding the back of Lugia in the second episode.
oh.
Yeah, it's gross.
What the fuck are they doing to our child? That was a
gross.
movie, first off, god damn it.
It's
That was
gross.
Pokemon 2000.
It's him and this other, like, he wants to be a Pokemon trainer still, and then he's got a friend that wants to be a researcher or something. And they're riding a Lugia in the second episode, and it's like, what are you doing? Theme song's still banging. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Smashing Game Time. We'll be a Smashing Great Time.
No.
Piss me off.
Do you have anything else about the Kanto War?
It's just, there's just so much behind it. Like I said, the first two generations, like literally every single interaction other than like the big one everybody brings up is their Vermilion City's gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. He's like one of the only few adults, but he's also like he's like a military.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero. Very interesting, though. I would definitely say if you haven't heard of it or you want to learn more, definitely take a look at it. It's very interesting, and it makes you go, God damn it, my childhood was dark as fuck.
Pokemon, man, it's got that secret shit. Speaking of dark shit, anyone who knows Cubone knows there is a sad origin behind this little skull on his head. So for those in the know, Cubone evolves into Marowak, which I didn't realize there was another Marowak. What is this? A Alolan form? I don't know what that means. Pokemon's
It's like
gotten
Generation
nuts.
7, I think, or 8. I honestly don't know anymore.
Pokemon's gotten crazy, man. But yeah, so apparently Marowak, the origin of Cubone is that Cubone is wearing the skull of its dead mother, which was a Marowak. And you see it, so there's, I forget, is it Lavender Town that has the tower with the sad Pokemon, and it's a
Yep.
Cubone, or is it Marowak? I forget which one. And it's sad because it's sad because its mother died. It's wearing its mother's skull. I believe its mother was killed by Team Rocket in the game, if I'm remembering correctly. Guys, this is all stuff from like 25 years ago, so I am going off of memory. And yeah, that's just fucked up, wearing the skull of your mother. And I imagine that bone is also from the mother. It's probably her thigh bone. That's her thigh bone. That looks like a
Jeez.
Marowak thigh bone.
Yeah.
Spooky stuff. What you got, Josh?
Dittos were created to help Pokemon repopulate. Which makes sense. I mean, Ditto is known to mimic other Pokemon.
Is this?
But let's take this.
This is a fan theory, right? Or has Nintendo been like, we don't know, maybe.
Well, hold on. Think about this. What happens when you take a Ditto and another Pokemon and you take them to the nursery?
They bone.
They make a baby egg.
Yeah. Okay. Just because. So I've seen the fan theory that Ditto was like a failed experiment of trying to reclone Mew before they were able to get Mewtwo eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, the Ditto stuff, it's just so weird.
But let's take it an up notch. If they're doing it with Pokemon, what's stopping them from doing that with humans? They just had a huge war, and they need to repopulate.
And again, it would explain all the Joys and all the Jennies.
They would.
God, I kind of
Ditto's just a really dark Pokemon if you think about it. Like it's like the most like plain and like, I wouldn't say joyful, but like just the most bland. But it has some of the darkest shit behind it.
I remember Ditto and Lickitung kind of being like off-putting, like just these pink blobs. I'm like staring at the picture of them, and it's basically just two dots and a smiley face. That's it. Yeah, Ditto was an experiment, right? That doesn't happen naturally. Ditto doesn't happen naturally. It doesn't.
And if I was a godlike Pokemon, I'd be like, "Oh, you fucking abomination," and just destroy them all.
Is Lickitung, by the way, speaking of Lickitung, is that a Gen? Is he Gen 1?
I thought Lickitung was Gen 2.
I never know, because Lickitung was one of those weird ones where they're like, okay, he was Gen 1.
What?
He kind of seems like he's Gen 2, though.
I thought it was Gen 2.
No, he's Gen 1, my dude.
What number is he?
108. So he's right in there. He's right in there with the Slythers and the pincers of the world.
Jesus Christ, I don't know anymore.
That's spooky. Relearning that Lickitung, because Lickitung kind of seems like the design kind of gives you like Dawn Fan, like Miltank kind of vibes. Because
Yeah.
who was the water mouse around? Was that Meryl? Mareep?
Yes.
Or not
The
Mareep
one that has
was
like the little red ball. On its
no, the
tail.
little blue. It's got the little blue ball, and it's a water mouse.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking the same thing, just different color. I don't know.
But yeah, there are some Gen 1 Pokemon there. Wait, is this Mandela effect? Lickitung Mandela effect. A hard competitor for the title, competing with the IGN commenter. My next one is one that I was not aware of until I started doing research. The ghost Pokemon designs, by the way, have gotten creepier over the years.
Yeah.
Like I've never found Ghastly, Hunter, or Gengar really scary. They're always felt more cartoony. This is a Phantump. For those who don't know, Phantump is number 708, which means it came out in the XY generation, Gen 6. I'm just gonna read the Pokedex for this one because this is fucked up, dude. This really fucked up. According to old tales, these Pokemon are stumps possessed by the spirits of children who died while lost in the forest. And again, let me point out, this is the remake of the Gen 3 games, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. So I kind of want to go back. And like look at how all these newer Pokemon are presented in the older generations, because they're kind of giving it that creepy vibe of like, well, actually, it kind of sounds like something a parent tells their kid to scare the shit out of them. Like, hey, Heracross, if you don't eat your peas, Heracross comes in and stabs your mother. I'm gonna eat my peas. Yeah, man. So I think I kind of cracked it. What's your last one?
Honestly, mine's kind of similar. Mine's Gengar's appearance spells certain death. So, in the spirit of what Nick just said with his, here's the Pokédex entry for Red and Blue. Its first entry. Under a full moon, this Pokemon likes to mimic the shadows of people and laugh at their fright. Seems yeah, okay. We're gonna go all the way back to Violet now. I'm sorry, not Violet. We're gonna Scarlet. To steal the life of its target, it slips into the prey's shadow and silently waits for an opportunity.
It murders.
It's a big jump.
It murders.
And then we'll go back a little further than that. We'll actually go to Pokemon Sun, which is by far the creepiest. So should you feel yourself attacked by a sudden chill, it is evidence of an approaching Gengar. There is no escaping it. Give up.
Give up.
That is fucking terrifying.
You know what? They just wrote that to Nidorinos. Nidorinos. I was right the first time. Nidorinos and Gengars have been at wars for centuries, and they're just like, they're writing that like, Nidorino, if you see a Gengar, run. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. You're a Pokemon trainer being chased by a Gengar and your hand's bleeding and you're just writing, it's too late. It's too late. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Even if you look at the sequels, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, you can hear tales told all over the world about how Gengar will pay a visit to children who are naughty.
Eat your peas or Heracross is gonna stab your mother. Exactly, dude.
She literally went from this, hey, we're just trying to scare you and we're gonna have fun too. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking murder you. Give up.
If you're naughty, Gengar will come and take you away.
If you're naughty, Gengar will take the children away. If you're an adult, just fucking give up, dude. Let him take your soul.
I love that. I think just about all of these have been ghost Pokemon. I do have a bonus. I do have a quick bonus. So I was out of Pokemon around the time of Mega Evolutions, but I did read up on it, and the way it's pitched is that like, hey, if you and your Pokemon are super friendly and you guys love each other and you have all the badges and you have the needed stuff to make them Mega Evolve, they love doing it. They'll do it for you and they'll love you. But then you look at like, you know, like for example, Gengar, Mega Gengar up there, like it kind of gets all spiky and like has all these growths. And if you look across the board, that's basically what it is for each one. And just there's a lot of hustle and bustle around the Pokemon community that, yeah, these mega evolutions might actually be super painful for the Pokemon, and people are just kind of like, no, they love it, it's okay. And yeah, I thought that was kind of spooky. And just looking at some of these, like, hell, Charizard gets some extra spines on its wing. Pinsir, I don't know if Pinsir's on here, but I saw one of Pinsir where it gets wings.
Yeah, there's Pinsir right there.
Is he? Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay, he's right by Mega Gyarados. Yeah, but it looks super like Gengar's like extra spikes kind of look like, you know, the pictures you see of like when someone has that disease that like makes their skull all like jagged and have yeah, that's what I thought about it, and it makes my skin crawl, it makes my bones hurt. Mega Pokemon are weird. Hey everyone, Nick here. You can find me on Twitter at that Kaufman. I'm also on Blue Sky at the same thing. That's right, I'm saying Blue Sky because I think I'm doing a little more time over there. You can also find me on YouTube and Twitch at Nick Fat Knight. I'm also doing some writing over at Hard Drive. I've got a piece about Titanfall 3. By the time you're hearing this, it should be out, so go check it out. It's a really good Titanfall 3 piece. I thought it turned out really well. And then I've got reviews over on Game Chronicles. I don't have anything I'm working on right now for that, but go check out some of my old reviews. Get those eyeballs on that. Josh, where can the people find you?
I mean, anywhere and everywhere. I'm Josh Saying. I should have probably won't be until this weekend, but I'll have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review up there for you guys to know how much I either really loved it or didn't like it. But so far, I'm enjoying it for what it is. Yeah, and then I will definitely also have my the importance of physical game media article for our website. I'll have that up this weekend too. That's my goal for this week, is to finish that up.
I love it. I love the goals. And my GameCube piece over at smashinggametime.com, where we have the podcast and our words going up. My GameCube piece, I'm hoping to have it here in the next 24 hours. We will see if I can hold myself to that. If not, it'll be up next week. I promise it's going to be a good piece. You'll love it. You'll enjoy it. It'll be the greatest piece ever. Like I said, smashinggametime.com. Go check it out. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Fuck the algorithm, tell a friend. That's right. We don't give a fuck what the algorithm has to say. Word of mouth is king here. Thank you to Alex Marvin Clark for our intro and outro song, Hunt Him Down. We have a link to his SoundCloud down in the show notes, so go check him out. Really good stuff. And yeah, so hey, everybody, this has been Smashing Game Time. We hope you all had a smashing great time. We'll see each and every one of you next time.